Hello there everyone, welcome back to another video about the One Piece card game. Today I'm going to be beginning my Set 3 deck profile series. I'm going to be producing over the next few weeks, just over a month I believe, a deck profile for every single color, for every single major meta contender. So obviously that is leading up to the main set release, so if you want to be prepared, if you want to know just good baseline lists to go off of and like to at least have a really solid starting point, you should subscribe to the channel. I make One Piece content very regularly, and I'm sure you want to be notified whenever these videos do come out. Of course, like this video if you do enjoy it. Another thing to point out for this deck guide, and I will notify you guys when this is true for other deck guides, I will be producing a in-depth guide over on my Patreon, how to play Ace. This includes matchups, this includes different card choices, this includes like a sort of more in-depth explanation sort of in every single aspect. If you are interested in getting access to that in-depth guide, please do check out my Patreon, linked in the description. It will be published there at the same time you're seeing this. So it's already up, go have a look. Obviously a deck profile is good, but understanding how to play the deck is way more important than just a list of cards. Obviously, if you are interested in supporting the channel as well, and you don't even care about the guide, then you should check out the Patreon as well, because that is the best way to do that. Let's go ahead and jump into the deck profile. So, obviously, we are playing Ace. What does Ace do? When this leader attacks or is attacked, you may discard any number of stages or events from your hand, and you gain 1k power for each. So this is a very versatile effect. You can use this offensively or defensively. Now, something to bear in mind is this is sort of the first thing that triggers. So when you attack, that means immediately you have to go, okay, Ace leader effect, I'm discarding 1, 2, 3, 4, however many cards. Now this is the attack power. And equally, when you defend, you go, okay, before counter, I'm using my leader effect to do this, then you counter. This is something that in a casual setting is not going to matter whatsoever. Everyone knows that it's not really affecting game state in any way. However, in a competitive setting, that absolutely does matter. Also, for some reason, it says there are 2 leaders when there's obviously only 1. But yes, so that is going to be something that you need to bear in mind. In a competitive setting, you don't want to be getting rule shocked over something like that. I also just realized you can't 100% see the count there. So there we go. So you can see me for Marco. Okay, so let's talk through the different cards here. So 4 copies of Otama. I think this is fairly obvious, and especially in a deck like Red, where there is so much just removal. So having access to something like this is very powerful. But also, it's just a really good 2k counter. But comboing this with your 5-drop Marco means you're removing 5ks, which is obviously very good. But a sort of more underrated use of Otama is the fact that this is going to let you use give you more reach into removal, right? Like giving minus power on one of your opponent's big dudes is going to let you just actually be able to attack it in a more efficient way. And also, one of your opponent's cheaper dudes, like for example a 5k, is just going to let you remove it with leader attack for basically free. So it's a very versatile card, definitely one of the best cards in the game, super staple. 4 copies of Izo. This is your searcher for all your Whitebeard pirates. As you can see, we're playing a lot of Whitebeard pirates. In fact, the only cards that are not Whitebeard pirates are Otama, Buggy, and Guard Point. I believe that's it. I think that's it. Then there is 4 copies of Buggy. This is your searcher for your events, and as you can see, we are playing a lot of events. I believe it is 21 events, something like that. So yeah, very large quantity of events. So having a top searcher for those is obviously very good. Jozu, this is a card that you probably have only really seen in Whitebeard leader before, but what this does is Don 1, if you've got 2 or less life and your leader is Whitebeard pirates, this character gains Rush. So this is a 5k obviously rusher that you're able to use in Ace, but it's also a 2k counter, so it's very versatile. It's searchable off of Izo, as well as obviously the Whitebeard pirates event searcher, so it's very good. Okay, then we've got Double Trouble, the double Marcos. Both of these cards are insane. So Blocker Marco, obviously it has Blocker, it's a 5k, and then it can come back by pitching a Whitebeard pirates, which there are a large number of in this deck, and 5-drop Marco is a 5/6 that has an on-entry to pop a 3k power or lower unit, and when it's destroyed you can discard an event to bring it back. So both of these cards are just going to constantly come back. They're going to be really difficult for your opponent to deal with. One thing to bear in mind though, do not be greedy with how often you bring these cards back. I know it can be very tempting to just pitch your entire hand to just protect these cards, but like understand, like if your opponent is like Otama your well, not Otama, but like if your opponent is like doing something to like just really, they want to really remove like this card, like if they are being very efficient with their Dawn, and you know it's just going to constantly like, okay, well they're going to do something, like it's just going to be really annoying, just be okay like letting these cards go. But yeah, both these cards insanely powerful, super staple. I got 3 copies of Ace. This card has Rush in Whitebeard Pirates. This card has Rush in all Whitebeard Pirate leaders, which obviously Ace is one of. So having access to that is very good. and giving the minus power actually gives you some extra reach for removal. We only play 2 copies of Newgate because you don't need to play 4 anymore. You have 8 searches for it, so you are going to find them. 4 copies of Radical Beam, this card is stupid, a 1-drop 4k. 3 copies of Guard Point is a 1-drop 3k. 4 copies of Whitebeard Pirates, this is a event searcher for Whitebeard Pirates, so if you trigger it, you're going to be able to find something to play. If you find this off of Buggy, this is amazing because it's going to let you keep chaining and going on. If you, in the later part of the game when you don't need to be filtering for those kinds of things, you can pitch it for Marco, and you can pitch it for both Marcos, and you can pitch it for your leader effect, so just very, very versatile. 1 Red Hawk and 3 Fury Doll. Red Hawk is like kind of strictly better, but like Fury Doll is Whitebeard Pirates traded, so that's something to bear in mind. Personally, I prefer Red Hawk, but it's way less searchable because you're only playing Buggy, you're not playing other searchers. But yeah, I figured put them in. 3 copies of Jet Pistol and 3 copies of Flame Emperor. Obviously, Flame Emperor is insane. This is going to be ruining people's day. Just getting a 1-don 9k double attack swing in combination with all your removal effects is super, super powerful. And of course, Jet Pistol combos so well with all the power reduction you have. Like even just an Otama alone on a pistol is incredibly powerful. But just the fact that this is actually not a dead card in this leader, this is just a 1k counter, is super, super good. So there we go. That is it for this deck profile. That is the list. So that is a good baseline ace list to build up of. If you want more detail on everything, basically, on matchups and all that sort of stuff, check out my Patreon. The guide is up. Please support the channel. I really do appreciate it. There will be more guides coming out by the time the first events begin for the OP03 metagame. I'm hoping that I'll have produced enough guides that people have a good idea of like the major meta contenders. So of course, you should check out my Patreon if you are interested in those. Subscribe to the channel. Lots of deck profiles coming up and lots of set analyses coming up as of the time of this video being uploaded. The red guide is already up, so I've started with sort of the big one. But obviously all the other colors, the guides will be going up, plus deck profiles for every single major deck across every single color. So I hope you guys are excited for those. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you over on the Patreon or in the next video. Subscribe to the channel, 70% of you are not, please. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.